Thank you for watching News 12 The Bronx. As local news gets, I'm Dave Roush. And police have arrested a homeless man accused of sexually mutilating another man and leaving him to die in a bathtub. News 12 The Bronx reporter Amy Rodriguez has more on the ongoing investigation. One firefighter and a Bronx man are both seriously hurt after a fire breaks out at a home on Corsa Avenue. But as News 12 The Bronx reporter Anthony Carlo explains, those were not the only two lives in danger.
It was like any other Sunday morning at one home on Corsa.
In news across the country now, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says it will not grant an easement for the Dakota Access oil pipeline in southern North Dakota. Corps spokeswoman Maria Kelly says they will not allow the four-state, $3.8 billion pipeline to be built under Lake Oahe, a Missouri River reservoir where construction had been on hold, saying now they will explore other alternatives. That route has been the subject of months of protests by the Standing Rock Sioux tribe and others who've argued that the pipeline threatened a water source and cultural sites. You're watching News 12 The Bronx. Still ahead, a funeral is held for Cuban dictator Fidel Castro, how his brother and people here in the United States are remembering him and his legacy. Welcome back. 12 is on crime now. A man is fighting for his life after being assaulted and stabbed this afternoon. The stabbing happened on East Gun Hill Road and Seymour Avenue around 2 o'clock. Police say the victim was near the 5 train station when someone came up from behind, assaulted him, and stabbed him in the back. That victim was taken to Jacoby Hospital. Police also in need of your help in finding this man. They say entered a mosque in Morrisania and removed an iPhone, credit cards, and other personal items from a victim's jacket during prayer time. This all happened at 3400 3rd Avenue back on November 19th. Police say the suspect appears to be about 38 years old and was last seen wearing a white baseball hat with white sneakers. And the family of this young girl is asking for your help. 17-year-old Madeline Garcia is missing. She was last seen at her home on Gun Hill Road. Her family is concerned because they say Garcia is in need of medication. If you have any information on any of these cases, please give police a call. The number is 1-800-577-TIPS. And for Spanish speakers, that number is 1-888-57-PISTA. Remember, all calls are kept confidential. To the latest now in that deadly warehouse fire in Oakland, California, officials saying the death toll has risen to 30 from a massive fire that tore down a warehouse. The fire department says the fire broke out during an electronic music festival. The building already was under investigation after reports that people were living there illegally. Officials working to find more bodies in parts of the building they haven't searched yet, but the death toll continues to grow as that search goes on. The fire chief says the warehouse was partitioned into several artist studios packed with furniture and mannequins. Authorities say the only way out of the second floor was a makeshift staircase. There were no sprinklers. No word yet on the cause. Authorities also say DNA is needed to help identify bodies, even going so far as to ask some families of those feared dead to preserve DNA evidence like hair or toothbrushes. Meanwhile, last night, the Golden State Warriors holding a moment of silence before their game for those victims of the warehouse fire. The team saying they will donate $50,000 to help families. The Oakland Raiders and A's have also made similar pledges. President-elect Donald Trump's transition to the White House continues this weekend. His surrogates taking to the Sunday morning airwaves to talk about his cabinet picks, while Trump himself spent Sunday morning on Twitter. Vice President-elect Mike Pence listed 5 names who are being considered for Secretary of State, but Donald Trump's short list may be even longer than that, according to his campaign manager, Kellyanne Conway.
It is true that he's brought in the search, and Secretary of State is an incredibly important position for any president to fill. And he has, he's very fortunate to have interest among serious men and women. That list is expanding because at the moment there's not a finite list of finalists, only because he will interview with additional candidates early this week.
Among those names, General David Petraeus, who himself faces scrutiny after being convicted of mishandling classified information. Pence said on Meet the Press, Petraeus is an American hero.
Well, he paid a price for mishandling classified information.
But you don't think that disqualifies him to be Secretary of State?
Well, I think that'll be up to the President-elect. I think the President-elect will weigh that against a backdrop of an extraordinary career in military service, whether it's in the role as Secretary of State or another role in this administration. It'll be the President-elect's decision about the totality of General Petraeus's experience and background.
Meanwhile, the president-elect spent his Sunday morning on Twitter after successfully convincing the Carrier Corporation to keep hundreds of jobs from going to Mexico, tweeting out in part that he plans to reduce taxes and regulations here at home while implementing a strong border and 35% tax on goods sent back into the United States. And President-elect Trump's Twitter habits were the fodder of late-night comedy sketch show Saturday Night Live. Take a look.
Mr. Trump, please stop retweeting all these random, real people. You're not getting any work done.
That's not true. I was elected 25 days ago, and already unemployment is at a 9-year low. Millions and millions of people have health care, and Osama bin Laden is dead.
Yes, he is dead. Just like my soul and all of my hair.
He, of course, tweeted this: just tried watching Saturday Night Live. Unwatchable, totally biased, not funny. And the Baldwin impersonation just can't get any worse. Sad, he ended his tweet. And we want to hear from you about the Trump transition and all the other stories you see here. Head over to Facebook and leave us a comment by searching for News 12 The Bronx. You might even see that comment right here on the air. Time now for a check of your hyperlocal weather on the 2's forecast, and we take you to the 7-day where the weekend is always in view, and not really the nicest forecast you could ask for. As you head back to work for your Monday, we have a storm system moving through the area that will be bringing heavy rain with the possibility of a mix of some wintry precipitation. High for your Monday, 46 degrees. Tuesday will start off nice, but both Tuesday and Wednesday evening we'll see the chance for some evening showers. Highs each of those days in the mid-40s. And again on Thursday, more clouds and sun, chance of evening showers, high of 48, and things do cool off by next weekend. We'll see highs only reaching the low 40s. In news around the world now, Cuban dictator Fidel Castro was laid to rest earlier at a private funeral in the city of Santiago. The revolution has its roots in that city, and last night it honored the man Cubans call their commander. After a 4-day trek across the island, Fidel Castro's ashes have returned to the place his revolution first took hold. Along Santiago's main roads, thousands braved sweltering heat to see the procession. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of Cubans and some foreigners showed up for a massive memorial service. The final word on Fidel went to his brother, President Raúl Castro, who recounted the fight against imperialism, borrowing a phrase made famous here in the U.S. by President Obama: "Yes, we can."
That's our undefeated Fidel, who calls us with his example and the fact that he demonstrated that yes we could, yes we can, and yes we will.
And while the mood was somber in Cuba, people in Miami's Little Havana took Castro's death as a new call for a free Cuba. Many in the area fled years ago to escape what they say is to escape to a better life with freedoms they would not have had in their home country. You're watching News 12 The Bronx. We'll be right back with more hyper-local headlines, so stay with us. The Bronx has one of the biggest Albanian communities in New York City. Now a group of young Albanians is doing their part to keep their culture alive, one dance at a time. News 12 The Bronx reporter Rena Roy has the story from Morris Park. It's that time of year again to start thinking about what to buy your loved ones this holiday season, and the Riverdale Temple held their annual Fair Trade Crafts Fair today. The event aimed to get Bronxites out of the stores and into buying locally handmade items. They featured all kinds of gifts, from jewelry to clothing to ceramics. The fair also holds 3 different crafting events for kids for a full day of family fun.
The Bronx is full of amazing people with extraordinary talents. We've got a pickle man and a cheese man, and we've got jewelers and woodworkers and photographers. It's extraordinary what the amount of talent that's right here in our neighborhood.
And this takes us to our question of the day. We'd like to know, what kind of gifts do you prefer to give for the holidays, handmade or store-bought? You can let us know over on news12.com or at channel 612. Well, the new United Airlines fare policy is getting the attention of one local lawmaker. Senator Chuck Schumer calling out United's new basic economy fare, saying it is too restrictive. The new price option would only allow flyers to bring a small bag that fits under the seat in front of them. Schumer saying all passengers should have use of overhead bins. A United spokeswoman saying flyers who want to bring carry-ons can still pay a higher regular economy price. around the state now, where officials are taking steps to loosen medical marijuana restrictions to give people more access. Soon, nurse practitioners and physician's assistants will be able to certify patients to receive the drug. There are also plans to add chronic pain to the list of conditions that the drug is used to treat. The state's also considering approving home deliveries of medical marijuana. And the Kennedy Center Honors Gala is today, and it's going to be a bittersweet one for President Obama because it will be his last. Actor Al Pacino, rock band of the Eagles, and gospel singer Mavis Staples are among those who will receive honors at the gala. The annual event, the honors rather, go to performers who influence American culture through the arts. And 12 is on entertainment now. The Bronx's own Prince Royce is releasing a brand new album. Making the announcement yesterday on his Instagram account, the Bronx native says his 5th studio album called Prince Royce 5 will be out on February 10th of next year. His new album making a return to bachata and Spanish sounds with a few surprise features as well. You're watching News 12 The Bronx. Coming up in sports, the last high school football game of the season, and it is huge. Cardinal Hayes playing for the state championship. Those highlights are straight ahead. And Kurt's here with a check of sports. And Kurt, a big weekend for high school football.
Yes, it was. A lot of championships decided, including one school right here in the Bronx that a lot of people didn't expect to be in this position. One last high school football game this season. Cardinal Hayes, straight defeat. They're now 2-6 on the season, Dave, so not a good start for them.
All right. Thank you so much, Kurt.
Yep.
Have a good one. I'm Dave Roush, and you're watching News 12 The Bronx. We will be right back in just 2 minutes with more hyper-local headlines, so stay with us.